this is the time to break down some really good baseball because the Orioles did some tremendous things in yesterday's game. So why don't we get into those highlights? This is the beginning of the game, 2 outs, everyone's feeling great, and then Burnes is going to hang a slider in the middle part of the plate. And what do great players do, Kevin, when the ball is hanging over the middle part of the plate? That he is going to do a lot of damage. And Mike Trout, he doesn't miss this thing. And it's a great swing by Trout. Ball just keeps pushing and pushing towards the bullpen, and whammy, 1-0. I know I could feel and sense people walking in and be like, what the hell? What the hell? Corbin Burnes is terrible. Trade him back, right? But that was all the Angels really got the entire game. And this is where I want people to understand just how valuable this Orioles team was in general yesterday. And I'm going to start with this Anthony Santander at bat in the bottom of the first. Gunnar Henderson walks. Blue Pit gets Gunnar to third. But there's no outs here, and the Orioles were really trying to do some damage. Now, Tony Taters is going to ground out here, but this is little things in baseball that allows you to win games, okay? Santander is going to ground a routine ground ball to third. What could have been a double play, but he busts his ass down the line, as we're going to watch right here. He busts his ass down the line and beats it out. And not only when you beat it out, when you hit into a double play, okay, you don't get credit for an RBI, first off. Secondly, it gives 2 outs in the inning. That was the first out of the inning for the Baltimore Orioles, but they get a run, and this is why it's so important, because Austin Hayes came up next and got out. Nope, so there's 2 outs, but because Tony busted his butt down the line, who's he giving opportunity to, Kevin? Who's in the batter's box right now?
Mr. Jordan Westburg himself.
Mr. Jordan Westburg, and he is battling his ass off, 3-2 count, watching that closely. And you know what Westy does? He gets a pitch that's right over the outer third of the plate and gets enough to shoot this over the second baseman, and the Birds get another run. That is winning baseball, and the Orioles did a ton of that yesterday in so many different ways. Another example here, how about Jorge Mateo? Mateo, who we know when he gets down in the count early, sometimes feels like, okay, does he just give in? Mateo battled his ass off. He fouled off, I believe, 3 pitches. I'm not showing you all the pitches right now. But Mateo on this, he's going to take a pitch here, which he did. Great take.
Yeah.
Keeps going, not giving in. Here's another one of his 3 foul balls that he fouled off in that at-bat. He's not giving in, Kevin. And then he's going to get a slider in, and he's going to shoot that puppy down the line, barely fair. And you know what? Get the merry-go-round going because the Birds are in motion. Now, Urias reached base because of a Rendon error, right? That's sometimes how it goes. But this is the theme. Ryan Mountcastle falls behind. He's battling. 2 strikes. What do you think he's going to do, Kevin?
Keep battling through.
And damn right he did. And this is the thing is sometimes in today's game, people go, well, you know, you want to try to do damage with 2 strikes, or if you strike out, it doesn't matter. I call bullshit to that, because if you go out there and continue to battle, good things can happen, and you sometimes are going to get rewarded, okay? So in this case, Mountie keeps battling, and he gets enough, breaks his bat. His bat dies, a hero here, and the merry-go-round keeps going. Okay, so the Orioles scored 2 runs before Urias and Mateo on an Adley Rutschman single. Then Mountcastle gets that base hit. And here's Tony Taters, still without a hit. This is his second at bat. He had the ground out. But you know what Tony does? He's down with 2 strikes yet again, Kevin. Fouls the pitch off. Yes, it's out of the zone. Not giving in. Ball down here. And then guess what? Sack fly does his job. So Tony Taters now has 2 at-bats where he doesn't have a hit, but he had extremely quality at-bats that got the Orioles on the board. Those are 2 RBIs. This is probably my favorite part with Corbin Burnes. This is what makes him special. Shut down innings. The Orioles go and put up 2. Corbin's going, well, you know what? I'm going to make sure that this team doesn't have any life. And right now, 3-2 count. And this is ballsy, but he's saying, I love my curveball. You ain't touching it. Gets the first out of the inning. And then here's another example. 3rd inning, same thing. After the Orioles put up numbers, you get that first out. Don't allow free passes. Get the first guy out, and you keep on moving. So it's just beautiful. And, you know, you're right, actually. We can blame Zach Trout has homered in all 3 games that Zach has gone to.
How could you do this to the Orioles, Zach?
Unbelievable.
Crazy.
Get rid of it. Get rid of him. Honestly, we'll look to reassess. He might have to be DFA, designated for assignment from the Ryan Ripken show. We'll see about that. All right. This is the stuff, though, with Corbin Burnes that, again, makes it so special. Third inning. Sorry, this was earlier on. I'm at the show. Just going right after guys. And overall, that's what Corbin did after that first inning. Regardless of the whole game, he didn't give in. And when the Orioles scored runs, the last thing you want as a team is to go out there and not go out and get we call it a clean frame, okay? But this is what was impressive to me. Third inning, 2 outs, 3-0 count, okay? And this is just how impressive Corbin is to me. He falls behind. Rendon's going to take all the way here. Makes sense, okay? 3-1 count, and look at the swing Rendon has on a 3-1 count because Corbin Burnes is going to throw a cutter, and Rendon's going to be, I'm going to have a good pitch to hit. Wrong. That thing keeps moving. He doesn't put a good swing on the ball. Pop up. The Orioles are out of the inning. And that's just what Corbin Burnes was doing time and time again. And this actually is my favorite at bat for Corbin Burnes or batter he faced. Trout took him deep first at bat. You know what Corbin Burnes said, Kevin? He goes, you know what? You hit a slider. I'm giving you all cutters. Try to hit this. Cutter, first strike. Whammy. Okay, strike 1. Again, guess what, Mike? Here it comes again. Strike 2. And if it ain't broke, Kevin, don't fix it. You're to keep going after him. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. And if you see where that ball just ended, it's going to end on the upper outside part of the strike zone, just going off the corner of the plate. But you saw that ball move. 96. Woof.
Look at that movement. My God.
Perfect pitch. And so the Orioles pitchers in general, Corbin Burnes being the main one, set that tone. And when you take the life away from an opposing offense, then you feel like you've really won the battle. And Corbin Burnes, that was the most impressive thing for me. The Orioles grinded out at bats, and Corbin Burnes made sure that the Angels would not feel that they would have any life to come back in this game. And that's what happened. Now with Bauman, I just want to shout out Mike here because this is what I'm going to tell guys. There's some guys in the pen you need to watch this year. Mike Bauman being one of them. Mike had a little bit of control earlier on against Hicks. I like to say he got a little too horny there on some pitches where he maybe was a little excited on opening day. But
it happens. It happens.
It happens. He was just rushing to me his body a little bit. But Mike was throwing fuzz. And this is the case. Yeah. Hitters counts when you are expecting fastballs. Bauman's going to blow a fastball by Hicks at 99. Hey, how you doing? And he's going to do it again with Trout, 2-1. Best hitter, one of the best hitters in the world, blowing it right by him. And then 2-2 count. Trout's thinking it's probably coming again. Pops it up because he can't get to it. So I just want to explain, shout out Big Mike. Love you. You're a good kid. But that's what he's capable of doing, ladies and gentlemen. He's Mike, to me, is in line to have a very good year. And I do think that his stuff is something you should watch. And it's just a great feeling. Now let's go to the happy moments here. This is actually Tony Taters going deep because we're here anyway. And
he crushes baseballs, just obliterates them.
Yeah. And Kevin, you want to guess who led the Orioles in home runs and who has led the Orioles in home runs and RBIs of the last 2 seasons?
I think it might be that guy on the screen right there.
That guy on the screen, Anthony Santander, led the Orioles in extra base hits last year as well. 41 doubles, 28 home runs, and 1 triple for Tony Taters. And then the guy that hit 111 in spring training, everyone's worried. Why we replace him in center field, said, I told him, and I was very proud of him, and I texted him this, thank you for saving your home runs for the regular season. He had 0 in spring training, and he's already off to number 1 during the season. So this is the beauty of this Orioles lineup. Cedric's hitting 7th. He keeps battling. He didn't have his best 3 at-bats to start it off. Well, guess what? He made him pay with that one, with that big home run. And that's just where the vibes you can see at the end, Kevin, they're immaculate. Things are incredible to see. And I think that people need to understand that this Baltimore Orioles team has so many different facets, but it's the little things that they did yesterday that puts so much pressure on opposing teams. And I know that might be a lot for people, but that was just those are a few of the moments that I noticed yesterday that really got me excited for Orioles baseball this year.